Hello, hello, I'm Rangru,
And I'm Graham.
and we're here today with another 1v1 from the Wargame Elite Tournament on
Hmm.
Highway to Seoul. So, who do we have playing?
So on the left-hand side here, Rang, we have Enter Sandalman. I see what he did there. And then on the right-hand side here, we have HK416. And then Sandalman's playing Eurocore General, and HK is playing Red Dragons.
Indeed, so we're seeing right off the bat, Sandalman going for a rather unique opener, considering
Yes.
he's forgot to book his reservation at the hotel.
Right, he definitely is a left early, kind of like he didn't have the extended, like when you stay in the hotel and you need to extend it a little bit late because you got too drunk the night before. Well, he
Yes.
kind of just pieced out early and left it. I don't think he paid his tab either. He's just kind of like he's really getting out of there for Foxtrot. Maybe he'll notice.
That's a very, weird opener, considering. I think he's just gonna try and capture Foxtrot, because at least you get the spawn point, yeah, but definitely going very heavy in buying frontline units with only a single
Do you think it's
CV.
deliberate?
I think it's deliberate,
Okay.
because I think it would be very obvious if you didn't pay your hotel tab, and he's immediately buying a CV in the hotel, so it's a really interesting opener, because it allows you to buy more frontline units immediately.
I mean, yeah, but he can't get any aircraft out, so which is kind of weird. We do see the Panther coming out immediately. I don't know. I think honestly it'd be cool if he could ever comment on the video next week and say, "Hey, what do you do here?" As we see combat is going down between the Puma and the Z9A over there. But there's a Panther. It feels like it'd be smarter just to have the Panther at the start, drop it off, and then bring it forward to support your push. But regardless, we're not the two playing the game.
Nope. No, we are not. We just have the benefit of watching it
Yes.
from our
Yeah.
comfortable seats. I hope your seat is comfortable.
It's
I'm
pretty good. It's
assuming
pretty
you have a
nice.
comfortable chair. Good.
No, no,
Good.
yeah.
Be rather
Well,
uncomfortable in an uncomfortable chair.
no, I used to have a wooden chair that I used to use for a long
That's
time.
pretty ghetto.
Yeah. Then I accidentally broke one of the handle part on it, and that's finally what got me to get a nice chair. But I had it for years. So it was 5 years or something like that. Yeah, it was real ghetto. Anyways, I think the viewers want to hear more about the game and not my broken wooden chair. And we kind of see here, and we were talking about it before the cast string. It feels like Sandalman kind of has he's like a wannabe mech player with this opening. A lot of reserve infantry, the Martyr 2s pushing up, and Leopard 2A1s.
Yeah, like the two stack of laboratory runs, it's going to be going pretty heavy into down turrets. It's definitely a mech location to really fight over. HK also has a lot of infantry to play with, taking a lot of, what's it called again? Bloody Louisiana dudes, the Chinese blokes with just a cheap transport. So he'll be able to contend quite well in the infantry department as well. But yeah, I mean, Red Dragon is a weird deck. It's one of my favorites in the game, but it can be quite difficult. Lack of good ATGM infantry. The tanks are good, but they are glass cannons, which make them difficult to use sometimes.
Yeah, I really like the idea here. If you're Sandalman, get aggressive here, get your reserve infantry the screen forward, take these 2A1s, your Martyr 2s, which obviously have Panzergrins in them, and then kind of push forward here. We do have the God Vision, so we can kind of see there really is only the Substantia 85 and the ZTZ 85-3, which is a nasty tank for 140 points. But with two 2A1s on the field, I think if you got aggressive here, you can get some damage done.
Yeah, those two A1s can definitely contend with that ZTZ. Pretty easy peasy. You're seeing both sides using a decent amount of mortars, which is
Right.
always good to see. Smoke them if you got them,
Right. I'm lighting up right now. And we see the AMX-10 here, RC on over the closer towards Golf, engaging ATGM team, so you should be able to go ahead and get that kill. Reservists pushing up. Oh, but the ZSD 90 actually catching these Panzer Grenadiers in the open, getting some big little chunk of damage in there before the Martyr 2 finishes them off.
Oh, no, one of the laboratory ones got detracked and he actually
Yeah.
it. Very cool play. I love it to see that. This is a really good concentrated push here from Sandalman. He has a lot of firepower and he's using those reserves perfectly, just as meat would, so to speak, letting all the heavy equipment do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, no, the push here, the Martyr 2s showing once again why they're one of the best transports in the game, tearing up infantry, tearing up other autocannon transports. Though we do see the WZ-550, they're getting some hits in on killing one of the Martyrs, which is a little unfortunate there for Sandalman. But the 2A1's going to push up. And I really like the smoke play for him so far, too, screening that 2A1 as it was detracked.
I think one did go down to the ZTs. No, that's something else. Like,
No.
bloody not keeping track. But Sandalman, speaking of leopards, it's getting 2 more leopard 2A1s. So that's
Yeah.
a whole lot of armor early on. It's one ZTZ is going to have to do quite a lot of carrying.
Yeah, and we see here a big engagement there. The ZTZ-85 running into the 2A1. It misses its shot. Leopard 2A1 doesn't miss, taking off a nice chunk. But then these Type 59s, those are T-55s, like I believe North Korean T-55s, or one of them, catching it in the side there. So the 2A1's going to have to retreat.
Oh. So at least keeping the tanks at bay. And reserve hits without that fly support are going to go down. Those loose Andus may not be the most fancy blokes, but... Bro,
right.
Oh no, they are shock infantry. My bad. I always keep thinking of the regulars, but no, 15-point shock infantry. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, no, they are pretty good. You just see Panzergrins there engaging some transports too, so they should clean up the reservists there, and they are. But with the extra 2A4s coming, 2A1s, excuse me, coming in along with more reserve infantry, I think Sandalman really wants to apply some more pressure here. But that might be over because there's a T-90S. I didn't know we were in Ukraine. It's rolling up here into Delta.
Yeah, the Korean T-90 here. Try the rest have not decided to invade that country yet. But that's a lot of artillery. We've got a BM-24 going to be firing off onto the Panzer Grenadiers, and yeah, with that T-90 being brought up, I think HK is going to have a very good defense on Delta.
Yeah, it's expensive, right? That's a big thing about these super heavies. But it'll be hard for Sandalman to actually kill that here. Obviously, because one 2A1's extremely damaged. The other one's kind of backing up here. You don't want to fight head on with that T-90 there. And then he has another D-track on his double 2A1s. Really unfortunate for the random crits there, on environmental crits there for Sandalman.
That's going to slow him down a bit. Or we're seeing a Milan F3 team in that building, trying to get some shots on the ZTZ. Gets a good hit, knocking off a big chunk of HP, but the cargo trucks are reeling and ready.
Yeah, it is a really nice hit, though, for him. Like, you like to see that big... Oh, is it actually going to get...
Oh.
There's another one going on. And it gets the kill.
Good snipe.
Massive kill. Right as, like, a second later, the smoke comes in, but it's too little, too late right there. And then ZTZ's out of there. And now there's 4 2A1s on the battlefield, and 4 of them can take on that T-90S. He just needs to make sure he does it together. Instead, he's leaving one exposed, this T-90, but to clean it up. Yep, there goes one. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Alvida's
you cannot engage them one by one. You need to, bring them all in, just fully send it. Even bring in an ATGM plane, I believe it does have those peace shrines available, which are very good at killing enemy tanks.
Yeah, both players seem to be kind of like away from the air tabs. Though, as I say that, we do see an F5B. That's really cheap, though. Nothing expensive. Coming out there. He's probably going to try and get some damage in on some of this infantry, some soft targets. As we see, mortars are still going, very active for both players. Lots of smoke being dropped and reinforcements. A bunch of reserve infantry coming up the screen for these Leopard 2A1s.
And a good hit on those reserve hits, and yeah, without any actual fire support for those reserve hits, they're just going to get completely blabbed.
Yeah, and I really like the F3. I feel like a lot of players don't bring it out because it is expensive and you do get low availability on the ball in F3. But it packs such a punch when it hits, and you can see right there why it's so. I think it's a valuable piece of equipment. Getting the kill on that ZTZ, and he's trying to bring up some supplies there to resupply him.
Yeah, I mean 25 points for the ability to kill a super heavy tank. Yeah, it's not bad. Even if it takes 4 Milan F3 teams to kill one heavy tank, it's still worthwhile. Availability not so much, but they are very bloody good.
No, they're very good. And we see the push here is going back in. Some Legion 90 to help screen for him. But unfortunately, those Legion 90 are getting engaged by the ZTQ, the recon tank there. So he wants to get them out of line of sight, and he does. The Legions are a really good shock infantry unit.
Oh, we've seen the reserve, it's coming in once again. Laboratory 1 being able to push as the T-90. He's pulling back to a more defensible location. And it seems like HK is... He's kind of leaving Delta open now. He doesn't really have any units in it, and he doesn't really have much time to actually get a decent defense back into the forest of Delta, so it's a very good chance Sandalman is going to be able to capture it.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a very good chance for it. As we see the M270 coming in, trying to get some HE damage, moving into these forest lines here. The big thing I think for Sandalman is he needs to capitalize now and fully evict HK out of that last little toehold in the forest line there. I think if he does that, he's in a really strong position in Delta moving forward.
Yeah, it's just sort of like down to his tank engagement. The T90 is starting to move up. The smoke is being prepared for his eventual retreat, maybe. And just looking in Delta, you get 1, 2, yeah, 3 of the laboratory ones, but they're pretty spread out, so they could get picked off one by one.
Yeah, so the engagement really is going to be important there. As we see the 2A1, I believe it's trading shots on the, yes, he's the Lyran moving up forward. So like you said, he's going to want to kind of swarm it and make sure all three are engaged at the same time versus single file as he's done already once before. Though we do see the T90 is getting really aggressive. That's kind of a bold move because he does know there are F3s in play, so he needs to be careful with that T90. You don't want to leave it outside exposed for too long.
Up. Fortunately for him, the F3 isn't nearby, and it's really just reservage reveals, terrifying LRAC 73s. Just,
yes,
40% accuracy, 14 AP. I would not want to be, even if I was on a M1A2 with TUS modifications. Don't touch me with that.
No, please don't touch me there. We do see the 2A1s are getting aggressive, and I like how he's whittled down the force that was in the forest line there. The recon tank has been eliminated. They're really just a 1 HP Type 59, which isn't going to do anything really at this point, at this stage in the game. You can see the equipment that he has here. And Sandalman just keeping the pressure on, though we do have to be aware that HK did cap Charlie, so he is extending his tick lead.
Yep, and we're seeing Sandalman respond by getting a CV of his own. Be interesting to see where he puts it. I'm guessing Delta. I think that's a pretty safe spot. But just looking just at the rest of the map, down south has been pretty quiet. We haven't seen any cheesy, like, CV sniping plays all the way along the southern corridor. And Echo has actually been in HK's control for quite a while, though. It's not much control, but it's some control.
Yeah, he has a toehold in there. I think that if Sandalman really wants to contest it, he can. We see this FIB coming back out, trying to get the. Oh, it does. That's a big pick for it there. Though I think it's going to go down to the Gepard yet, and it does die. So the AP is making clean work of it, but it does kill that F3, which you definitely don't want. You don't want that chilling in the right there and popping a big old Milan shots into your T90.
We're just seeing a very good use of smoke, allowing the Laboratory 1 to provide fire support without risking an engagement from that T90. And the T90 is forcing itself to get very close, which is a bit more dangerous as a heavier tank.
Yeah, and we see here also the Legion 90 are pushing up very aggressively here into Delta. And he's going to try and get an angle on this T90, though. Both 2A1s moving forward. Oh. Okay, so one trades a shot. It only does 1 HP, obvious, because of its damage. The other one comes forward. So the T90 there can tank that fight all day against both of them. He doesn't need to pull back there. He really would need the third one there to get the side shot to get the win.
Yeah, the T90's in a very good defensive position, but he can't really risk prevent, especially into the Delta Forest at this point. I think that's where Sandalman can really just keep the advantage. His Laboratory runs in a more... He has Delta under control now. He just needs to keep control of it. There's no point really trying to push into Bravo. It never usually works. Just try to control Delta and then spread your rings a little bit and press heavy up north into Echo, or heck, even down south.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see him go consolidate Echo at this point. He doesn't, like you said, he doesn't need to go for Bravo. I think too many times players that win in Delta, they feel like they have so much momentum behind them, it'll carry them to instant victory. Into Bravo, and this is not the case. It's an extremely defendable piece of terrain, and there are still significant forces on the field here, especially with the T90, the Chahoma 4, Sonoma Ho 5s, excuse me. So I would like to see him consolidate Echo, cap that, and then go take golf.
Yeah, that's really his best bet. And also, we saw this, I think a few weeks ago, where it's like a Scandi player who's just spamming super heavies. With those Laboratory 1s, you can spread them out along the map more compared to that one T90. And just by being able to do that, you can get more effective firepower up north and down south. That T90 can only really defend Delta.
Right. No, and you can definitely take one of them, move it to Echo, take some reserve infantry as well. I mean, hell, you can get a Martyr too with if you really want to, and then just cap Echo. You're in a really solid spot. We do see that he's actually going to go for the Golf here, and I don't think that's a bad move. It's just we know that Golf's not fully secure. And I think he has to know that too, right? There's a lot of areas of Golf he can't see effectively. So I would just be worried about CD placement because in my mind, there'd be a high likelihood of recon infantry in the back line there.
Yeah, it's definitely risky. Really, it's... I mean, you could get a CV into Echo. It does have some more... You know, you do have that little corner of the small tree lines you can wreck.
Right.
But, yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes and go. I mean, that one Luzandur is pretty close by. So if he decides to go for an afternoon stroll, he might run into some commanders, which he can conquer.
He could. So the Panther's right there. So if he, I mean, funny enough, he might move the Panther in that direction just in general, just screen for it, and he can find that infantry. I also really think Sandalman needs to repair his 2A1s. They're very low on HP, and I know he wants to get aggressive here, and you can kind of see it, especially with that M270 strike. But they will all die to that 1T90 if they take a frontal engagement against it with their current HP values.
They have to attack from multiple angles, or really just try to bait in the T90, and then bring in the Peace Shrine to finish off the job and bring in the peace.
Yeah, I mean, he also at this point, he could get a Leclerc if he wanted to. He has it available in his deck. If his armor play's been very solid. So if he wants to stick with armor and not dip into the air tab too much, he has the ability to. But we see that it looks like he's bringing out more Legion 90. And the Puma actually down south in Gulf, just to bring your attention to it, does see, because the Panther went down to the Lu Zhendui. I just butchered that for any Chinese viewers. Yes. So he does know that there is infantry in his backline in Gulf. Honestly, I'd call up another Panther, but because he has a Panther just chilling there, he could send in.
It really does feel like Sandalman is just playing a mechanized deck, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
Just with all the infantry spam, even though it's just reservage, and they are... I've definitely grown fond of them now, because they are... You get a lot of them per card. The cheap 5-point transport holds its own, and if used correctly fire support, they're great for just spotting stuff.
No, I think so too. And that's what's funny when we joked about it earlier, was that it looked like he felt like he wanted to role play as a mech player. In his play style, at least in his game, feels very much like a mech player. The one worry for me is that you won't have the infantry depth that a mech deck has. So while there's certain, like you don't have Legion 90, for example, I would caution the speed at which you trade out units can't be done quite at the same rate when you play a general deck versus a mech deck.
Yeah, and especially how he has his Eurocore deck set up, his reserve hits are essentially his main frontline infantry, apart from the actual, like, the specialized shock troops and special forces and whatnot. While HK, he has those Luzandus, which he can spam for days, and they're very good frontline troops. They can, in one-on-one fights, hold up against reserve hits quite well.
Yeah, we see these 2A1s are going back forward again. I still think that's kind of a mistake, but we do know the T90 is low on HP. So if he can get a good angle on it, I think he's got a good shot here. And the T9 is actually almost out of ammo. The Peace Ride comes in. Doesn't matter. Gets the kill. Get it out of here. Too heavy. But it does go down to the HQ7. But I think that trade's worth it.
Worth it. Yeah, that's such good momentum here for Sandalman. He knows that sub heavy's down. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot here from HK. He can push very aggressively now with his 2A1. So he doesn't really have much to really support a 2A1 push. But it's a risk at this point you want to take, because it's the second T90 immediately being brought out. If you can get onto the Bravo, here I could at least consolidate, any major pushes outside of Delta. Yeah,
I really think, I've harped on a little bit. I think moving to Echo now is the best move, because getting into Bravo will be so difficult. Don't overextend your 2A1s, consolidate your position in Delta, hit him hard in Bravo, make that T90 have to kind of like go all over the place to try and put out different fires, because he's now in a really good spot with that kill there, armor-wise.
And he actually just lost the laboratory one to Lee Ren, right? Yeah, so definitely overplaying his hand a little bit. But yeah, the T90 is just really only going to be good at defending Bravo, but that's fine really for Sandalman. He has Delta pretty much completely under control now. I think HK is starting to push a little bit heavier into Echo. He's actually getting a CV up here. So we're probably going to see a change in battlefield as both players start to focus more north.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think HK should even have that T90 messing around by Delta anymore. I get he's dropping smoke for it and everything else, but there's no support left for it. The supporting tanks have been pulled back as well. So if you're going to... And we know he's going to cap Echo. We saw the CV get called out and placed there. I think it might be better to switch and try and consolidate Echo and hit Delta from the side, versus kind of leaving your T90 on an island.
Yeah, he needs to put that T90 in an area where he can actually push. He doesn't really have to worry about... You don't really even have to defend Bravo that much, Because if you do see enemies start to attack heavily, I mean, your forces and Echo are pretty close by. And also you have the bloody spawn point, right? Yeah.
Yeah, once again, he is pushing it up pretty far forward here. It's gonna 2A1's gonna get a shot to it, but the 2A1, that's what happens. Low HP, took a fight with that T90S and gets annihilated. I like to say on my channel, he got blapped right there. And the other one, he needs to watch out.
Oh. So not too bad there for HK. That T90 is starting to not exactly pay himself off completely yet, but that was a good engagement to be in. If he can knock out the other laboratory one, he actually have a good chance of foothold back into Delta. Yeah, it's really only Reservich on the front line, and that 1-1 is not going to do much against the T90.
No, it shows you, I think, how fast games in Red Dragon rank can switch on you, where the momentum just seems to be with one player for such an extended period of time, and then these what seem like small engagements happen, like just two tanks duking it out for a brief second can really change the dynamic. And we know that there is a CV going into Echo, so HK should at the very least be at a roughly tie or protect his slight lead here momentarily. And so then it's going to be up to one of the two to kind of commit. So the Tiger actually coming in here, getting missing its first shot into the T90S there. But HK has not paid attention to it because the smoke is dissipating. Oh, there it goes. He's backing it up. But it did take a frontal hit from that Tiger's ATGM.
Yep, and I also liked how Sandalman managed to maneuver along the highway a little bit. He got his Legions into a very good spot, so he's going to have that forest pretty much under control. And we're seeing the Fab go around into Bravo here, causing quite a bit of havoc until this T62 comes around.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's looking, the T90 is actually backing up. Yeah, he needs to resupply that here. It's getting a little messy here, Ray. The game's getting a little messy between the two players.
It is. I mean, Sandalman didn't take some great engagements yet, but he has the territory in the end of the day. I think HK can still pull this if he puts it a bit more heavy into Echo and clear that out. Because from Echo, you can actually get a pretty good foothold into Delta. He's never going to fully capture Delta at this point. He just can. What he can really do is contest it.
Right. Yeah, it seems like both players are now kind of taking stock. Like we're in that phase where they're kind of deciding what's the next, where's the next big engagement going. So we do see that HK is capping Echo. Sandalman will immediately recognize that fact here soon if he hasn't already, because it was briefly capped. He actually needs to resupply his mortars pretty badly as well. And there's the clerk. I was wondering when we were going to see it, Rang. It's been called out. I think that's a smart move here to try and get rid of this T90, because he's lost too many 2A1s and trying to deal with it, I think, in the past couple minutes.
Yeah, he's upgraded from a mechanized deck now into an armored deck, so maybe the spirit of General Leclerc will be enough to deal with the North Korean armor.
Yes, he's definitely channeling second French armored right now as he tries to roll up into Delta here. It is honestly an awesome tank for 165 points, 21 frontal armor, 70% accuracy, 70% stabilizer, 22 AP. I mean, it's the man. It's more than capable of dealing with pretty much anything on the battlefield here. Plus, he does have support for it. There is infantry. There is AA to protect it. Mortar 2, Leopard 2A1, M270 opening up again here. Where's he dropping that at? Looks like right there where that clump is of infantry. Good shot there, actually. A couple good shots coming in for the 270.
Yeah, and we're seeing a pretty decent pusher from HK trying to get into the north of Delta here, but we're seeing a counter battery with the B-24. It's just not really going to be hitting all that much. But HK opting to get a lot of the Chonma Hull Mark 5 models here, actually providing a decent amount of fire support, and he's going to be able to pave himself a small little path into Delta, it seems.
Yeah, they are advancing up, though. They're getting hit by the Recon AMX-13 here. We'll see if they actually can get a pick. If one of those could get a kill, it would be really nice for him. But the reload time is insane on that thing.
Yeah, because it has like a whole bloody revolver cartridge.
I never even noticed this. Oh, the T90's exposed!
Oh, no.
The T90's exposed with 1 HP. Oh, no, if he can Oh, I think it's going to get away.
Yeah, Sandalman got spooked, yeah. I think both were just spooked in that engagement.
Yeah, it's a really high-risk engagement, but I think you risk the 2A1 for it. I think you risk the 2A1, because if you can kill a trade T90S for a 2A1, you're winning the game. And I think that's a risk worth taking.
Up and seeing the Clerk finally getting to the front line here, seeing the Chon Mahos backing off. I think it's just bringing them in for repairs, but if he brings them back into the same location, they're gonna be, well, rather rudely greeted to Giat Ron Trenti.
Yeah, definitely. And we see here the two Sandalman at the same time. He's repairing that both of his 2A1s here. I like that he's been very proactive with it in the back half of this game. He's got the AMX-13s up there for screening, and we see looks like some more Commander's Para, and I believe some more Legion 90 coming out towards Echo. And it looks like he's probably going to start probing up a little bit there.
Yeah, I was just from a lot of detour down south because there's been
Okay.
a little bit of skirmishing over here. We're seeing Sandalman move some Falchion Jagers around, just trying to get into that southern forest in Charlie. So, honestly, both sides could really benefit quite a lot by playing a bit more heavy down south. HK also moving some Lujan Douche here, so it's going to potentially, change up the match.
Yeah, if one of them could snipe each other's CV, that might be game winning at this point. We actually see the Sandalman charging his mortars forward. He said he doesn't have this. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have the supplies.
Yes, supplies.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas. They've been sacrificed though, and they are dead. He actually called out another mortar. You gotta wonder about the decision making there. I'm not sure. But we do see the M270 opening back up here. I believe it's going to go for where he believes those tanks were. And if he could get a kill on these supply trucks, that would be pretty big for him.
Yeah, it would actually be a pretty big kill. Did he think it was Panzer mortars?
He does, yeah. All of them go down. I have no idea.
Please, Sandalman, tell me why.
Falchion Jaeger 90 are in the back line here, getting picked on a truck. We see the AMX 1390 in Charlie as well, shooting at some transports. Commando's Para pushing up. And actually, it's getting a little dangerous here for HK in Charlie. But at the same time, the Chinese Marine Infantry, Shock Infantry, and Golf is on the move as well. So it's getting a little weird between the two players down there.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit bizarre, that's for sure. I mean, it's 12 minutes left in the match. It's pretty close in terms of points.
Right.
I feel like Sandalman does have just the map advantage, but I mean, this is Wargame. Things can change over very quickly.
And here we see yeah, and that's why those T90s, they're all about them. If you can bring them, you might as well. And so we see it moving forward here. There is a ZTZ 85-3 again. Yeah, it's pushing up. Oh, it's actually that WZ gets the kill in the Pertal there. And it's also hitting the VAB. He needs to be careful. He's going to lose. Oh, Legion actually finishes it off there. Though, unfortunately for him, that T90, I think, was going to keep driving, and the Legion might have been able to get a shot onto it with the Erics, but he notices the Legion and backs up.
Indeed. Oh, we've seen a peace shrine being brought in. I think he's trying to go for the T90.
Yeah, he's lost vision, though, so he's shooting at something else. Was it the VTT? I don't know. I'm actually not sure what he was trying to kill there. The Tiger is opening up, though. We're going to see it looks like he's trying to get a kill in the ZT. He does kill it there. So actually, the CV is pretty exposed for HK. But I don't think that Sandalman knows it's there, Ring.
Oh, I don't think his reconnaissance has enough eyes. CV is pretty, not deep, but it's a bit back in that forest, so it's not being spotted yet.
Oh, Milan F3 team opening fire. Oh, he actually gets immediately annihilated by the T90. So not going to get a hit on that ZTZ there. And we do see HK is getting aggressive on the outskirts of Delta here once again. But there is significant firepower still in Delta for Sandalman. So I don't imagine that the attack actually is going to get that far for him.
Yeah, we've got those two laboratory ones. And the Clerk is not in the best position, but he can very easily reposition to engage that T90 head-on. And yeah, just in terms of tank firepower, Sandalman definitely has the advantage just in terms of numbers. HK is going to make that T90
This might be a game-winning move here. Legion 90 killing the VTT. ZDZ going, the ZDZ 85-3 going down as well to the peace rank. Excuse me, a lot happening at one time. And the Legion 90 in Charlie are about to roll right on top of the CV for HK.
Wow.
They think they landed in Mali, and they're going in really hot.
Going in real hot here. This could be a really good... That's going to be a real good play here for Sandal.
Yep, the VAB actually does see it, spots it, confirms it. Here, Legion 90 pushing up. This Tiger resupplied a little bit, so we see some of his missiles going out, trying to get a kill on these ZS-90s. Yeah, if he can get a kill on this CV, I think that'd be game for him.
Yeah, especially if only 10 minutes left. I mean, that'd give them a good points lead considering the time left. Oh, it's the three Chonmahos are making a
They're
7
charging.
detour.
Yeah, they're
Very
charging.
risky.
Yeah, Amex 10 try to engage him, does get some damage, but it goes down. And we see here the Legion now on top of the CV. There's going to be no mercy shown here from the Legion 90 right there, playing like they're in Steel Division, fanatical. And looks like they're going to clean it up.
Indeed. And oh,
Yeah.
that's the game, and Sandalman takes the victory. Only a 500 KD difference. That's pretty close for this type of match.
Yeah, it was very back and forth in terms of engagement-wise. Really dynamic, I think, Rang, between the two players. Like, nonstop fighting. And it just felt like it got to a point where if somebody could kill a CV, the game was probably going to be over.
Yup. And we saw that happen. That 7 play ended up becoming quite pivotal. But it's very interesting seeing just the tank engagements in Delta. Just like the back and forth between the 2A runs and the T90s going at it. It's just Sandalman, even though he took some pretty decent heavy casualties in Delta, he managed to get the ground, yeah. And once you capture the ground in Delta, you have a pretty good buffer zone of open ground between you and Bravo. And he managed to exploit that rather well.
Yeah, I think so too. And he really seemed like he was focused. Like we joked about the mech mindset, but he was very focused on an armored, mechanized push from the get-go to the point where he didn't even leave a CV in his main base, which I could test that. I don't think that was deliberate, but maybe it was. And he went for it, accomplished his mission, got some really big picks with his peace rhymes in 2 crucial moments, and got just a ton of value out of his 2A1s. And I just think it was really solid play there from Sandalman.
Yeah, and also just like a very good use of reserve hits. We've seen pretty bad use of reserve hits where they don't get adequate fire support, but especially in that early push where it mattered, he had the Marder 2s and the Laboratory 1s directly behind him, you know, giving him fire support, because by God, those Mass 49s aren't going to do a whole lot.
No, they definitely won't, even though it is a cool gun that I would love to own one day. It's definitely not one I'd want to bring into a modern war environment.
They use that till the FAMAS, which is like
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, no one copies the French for good reason.
And then you realize now how old the FAMAS is.
Oh yeah.
But HK416, maybe he has one, because I'm definitely jealous if he does. I would like to purchase one. Sexy gun.
It is. But any final thoughts, good sir?
No, man. Great match as always. Love the cast, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Great, lovely jubbly end. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys, and as usual, please just take it easy.